What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Back here at the house, we just got back from hunting in Missouri for a week. We've been doing some work here in this garage. Y'all can probably see we got lights up now, we got paint on the walls. It's starting to really come together, and we got the guys from Southern Iowa Heating and Cooling that should be here any minute. They're gonna put a ductless mini split heat and air unit in here for us. So we're gonna help those guys get that thing in, and then me and Ted are gonna start scouting because our opener is this next Saturday. Daylight yet?
This is where you hope you know what I'm doing, because I just put a big hole in your house.
Jesse and Hunter here just put the mini split in. Now me and Ted are gonna go try to scout them up this afternoon.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for coming out.
Absolutely.
It's pretty slick. Where can I put this where we ain't gonna lose it? I'm gonna put it on the counter.
Somewhere where Jake can't find it.
Yeah.
Going into Iowa's bow season, we are optimistic about October. This summer, we scouted more than usual on familiar public areas and new locations.
There he goes. Nice one. That's what I thought. Got a little kicker point off that right brow tine.
That's a big mature buck right there.
Yeah, he's just starting.
In the days leading up to the season, we spent several evenings glassing and deployed a wide net of trail cameras in order to put ourselves in position to fill tags once bow season rolled around. During our whitetail hunts in Kansas and Missouri, we noticed an abundance of white oak acorns. We took note of this intel and began thinking of spots in Iowa that set up well for the bumper crop. Once we returned home, we began checking white oak stands looking for hot sign and located a few areas to key in on during the first week of season. Right before opening day, we were able to lay eyes on several shooter bucks on or near public land. Was it? He's bedded right there.
Right there,
Over here.
base of the hill in this bottom. That was a good one though, boy. Big enough when he took off up through there. I was like, that's a pretty good buck there. Yeah.
That will do.
That's what he's doing. Is he laid up here in the bottom, and there's most of these oaks that are dropping a lot of acorns are out here on these points. There's huge rubs all over the place, but mostly within 50, 60 yards of where we jumped that buck. Like he's literally standing up in this bottom and eating acorns. But we bumped him. I don't think he smelled us, which is a good thing. Good chance he'll be back in here or in a similar spot around these woods soon. But right here close to where he was bedded, there's this big X crossing. There's a licking branch right here. There wasn't a scrape here, but I just made a massive one. I'm gonna pee in it, and we're gonna put up a cell camera over it.
See if Big Hank returns or a different one.
It's kind of a janky remote spot. We didn't see any sign of hunters coming back here. I mean, it makes total sense why he's here. So we're gonna put a camera on it. We're just gonna chip away at him here. It's October 3rd. Iowa bow season opened here on the 1st. Jake and Ted saw a small buck a couple days ago working a scrape. But most of what we've been doing is running trail cameras and walking around, scouting, looking for sign, checking oaks, checking oak flats, because there's a pile of acorns in the woods just about everywhere we go. We're kind of waiting to strike at the moment because we know where multiple big bucks are at. We've either got pictures of them or we've laid eyes on them all in the last week and a half. We've got 4 or 5 different spots that have got mature bucks in them right now. We just haven't had the right conditions to get in there and hunt them yet. It's, as you can tell right now, it's real calm. There's no wind blowing. It's pretty warm. We're still pecking around looking. Jake and Greg are down the road. They're doing some scouting. Jake actually got pictures of a couple of big bucks over a scrape. He hung a camera over it last night, went and checked that camera today, and there was 2 big bucks on it at midnight working that scrape. So we're going to try to figure out where they came from. They're in a familiar area where we know some of the buck bedding. It just comes down to waiting for the right conditions to get in there and hunt it. But anyway, me and Ted are dropping down this oak ridge right now, and we're finding some sign in here. There's a fresh rub right here next to me, and found some feeding sign and some deer poop back here behind me underneath some of the oaks that are dropping. But we're gonna drop into this creek bottom and get down into some of this tall grass where we think some deer might be bedded. Try to get right above it where we can at least observe at a distance tonight.
That ain't good. Dang it.
Good spot for a camera. Warp and I have worked our way all the way down this dry creek until we got this wind in our face, and now we're just sneaking out to one of these trees out here in the middle of this bottom to try and get up here so we can see out over top of all this stuff. As soon as we came up out of the creek, there was a little doe bedded right here. She busted out and took off out of here, but there's a lot of good cover down in here, so I'm gonna try and get up in this tree and see if we can get eyes on something tonight. Maybe shoot a doe, because I got a doe tag for this county. Laura and I just got up in this tree. Took us a little bit longer than we thought it would, because this tree is bigger around than the straps are for our sticks, so we had to do some finagling to get up in here. But as soon as I got up in here, I could see 2 does out there in the willow patch where we kind of figured deer would be bedding at. So they got up and started working towards the hardwoods, and we haven't seen them since. We still got another hour and a half till dark, so we can see a long ways out over this bottom. We're assuming there's probably quite a few deer bedded out in this thing, especially with how many tracks we saw on the way in. We've got a bunch of trails coming right by the tree right here, it looks like. So if a doe or a buck comes by, we should be in good shape. The wind's blowing straight back this way, and everything that we're thinking they're bedding in is out this way. So if nothing else, hopefully we'll get eyes on some more deer tonight. Got my bow release and tag. We're good, Greg.
That's all you need, huh?
I mean, bare minimum, right? You can see that limbs that are all kind of tore up right there. Yeah. I think that's something that's probably going to be pretty important if we actually do end up shooting something, is that I just walked straight to that. Yeah. I wasn't walking all up and down this line, because I think the deer are going to come up it. We got a weird wind that we're hunting or accessing it on. It's like it's at our back, and I guess I'm just hoping the deer are bedded straight down below us, and they're bedded this way or this way, and they kind of work this edge, feeding on these green beans. During the late season, there's a huge trail coming out of that corner right there, so I'm hoping there's some oaks that are dropping over that way. I could hear that one was dropping a couple before. October 3rd. Yep. 3rd day of season. Greg and I just got set up here. Came in here just before Greg met up with me. And I knew there was beans here, and I was hoping that there would be some of them that were still green yet. Checked a different part of the field, and there was deer sign there, but there was no buck sign, so I came down here, and there's a real big scrape. It's been worked pretty aggressively, so I'd imagine there's either several bucks in here. I guess that's kind of what I'm guessing, is there's several bucks in here. This spot's nice because, I mean, you can see that all of the beans that are still green are within bow range of us. I haven't ranged yet, but that's probably not more than 25 yards right there. I can see the deer coming out to this side of the field and just kind of feeding in the shade here. It's going to be the first part of the field that's shady. That's why the beans are still green. And this is the most secluded part of the field. A lot of this other stuff you can see from the road. So when we were gun hunting in here last winter, the biggest trail entering or exiting the field was
right over my shoulder here, about 40 yards. So I guess that's my hope, is that they're either going to pop out there or come from this way and just feed along this edge.
You might get yourself a point-blank shot.
Yeah, I think it's going to be real
They
big.
follow the field edge. If the buck comes in, hits these scrapes. Coming this way. They're in the sun. They're about to get to the shade.
Future 2-year-old gobblers, looks like. We'll have to remember that. There's a bunch of longbeards down the bottom before, too.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, they're probably single-footed at all. Imagine Greg got some pretty cool stuff of them, just like slurping the seeds off those foxtails. Just following that little band of grass out there. We'll remember that next spring.
That was awesome, but it's a bummer because those opportunities are so few and far between to shoot a gobbler with your bow.
Yeah, and Ted and I
In the
were,
fall.
Ted and I were like gung-ho about maybe getting a turkey yesterday, and then we checked before we went out, and it's like, oh, it doesn't open until the 10th. So 10 days, or not 10 days, 7 days from now.
A week from today.
Yeah. They might have been in trouble. Did you get a shot of that pheasant on the way in?
Uh-huh.
You were getting a little birdie back there, I could tell, so I flushed one. Greg, I looked back and Greg's just got his nose on the ground. Big buck. Really? Way out there. A real mature looking steed.
Far enough away you can't smell us.
I would assume,
Our
but
scent's not getting to him.
he's beautiful, Greg. Can you see his neck from over there?
I'm gonna have to look at him on the computer when we get back.
You'll be able to tell the most from there anyway.
Thinking you want to get down? Is that what you...
I don't think so. It's just like,
Yeah, scent's blowing
I
at
can't really think of a good, I mean, either side that we pick to be on him, it's like, it's not going to be great. It might be just better if he just stays out there.
Right.
I think we can get eyes on that in the next couple of days and hopefully see him again.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. I mean, there's obviously a bunch of deer in that bottom, so we can get a good vantage on it from somewhere and we'll get eyes on something, I would think.
Oh yeah, I see him.
Seems like the type of buck that would have the palms a little sweaty if he popped up somewhere down in here. Okay, no, start working this scrape.
Yeah. Just a little bit. Working our way down the edge.
You're gonna be able to film her right here if she cuts out.
I got her good.
You don't ever.
Okay, I can see her. That sounds good.
She listened to it. I mean, she could never get her front legs under her. Just listen to it. One right there, still right here. She's crashing. She's crashing. Last place I would have expected her to come through.
Yeah, why couldn't she stay in the open? Yeah, I could actually see her head.
I better knock another one just because you feel it coming out. I'm shaking pretty good now.
if you were gonna find an opening.
Yeah, I thought about not doing it, but she was so close that I knew I had a real clear path, and I took an extra second to make sure that was like I was going to be forward enough because she was a little quarter too. I mean, she was looking right up at us, and it's so close too. There's just a weird little pocket that'd be cool to see through this thing. Probably, I mean, it was tiny, but she was so close, and it was all just little oaks, and like. That's one of the benefits of shooting heavier stuff. It's just like even if I were to maybe nick something like that, my chance would be a lot better if I did accidentally. But I had a lot of confidence I wasn't going to.
I love it.
Yeah, that was sweet. Hey, my first deer from a saddle. Really? Yeah.
She just went there. She was cornering away. Big time. She started walking as soon as I let the arrow go. Yep. She blew as soon as you let the arrow go. And she's dead. She's dead. Dude. I mean, it hit probably right where I was aiming. Just she started walking as soon as I shot. Yeah, knocking her. No, I mean literally, like as soon as you shot, she blew. I was like, she stopped right there. I could have shot her point blank right there. I could have shot her, smoked her through that, but she had that grass. Yeah. And I was like, well. Yeah, at one point you were like, do you think I can shoot through that grass? And I was like, nah, I doubt it. And she was like 12 yards. But I was like, oh boy, that ain't good. That was a good angle though. She was. It was a good angle, but and like if she'd have just been standing there, like I was on her when I shot, and then she moved like she did, and it hit her way back there. But I mean, it went straight up in there.
I saw it.
Oh yeah, it buried in there.
It was about up to fletching.
Yep. Oh, she was she was at a good angle.
That happened quick.
Yeah. She was at a really good angle.
Yeah, she was quartered away.
25 or 24 yards, I think.
Yeah, she was about 25, I think.
Got her. She fell
She
over
fell
right
over
there.
right there. Steer down, baby.
Hey, that's meat on ice.
That's meat on her. That's what we wanted.
Better keep watching for the bottom. Yeah. This bottom's full of deer.
Alright, it's pretty much the end of legal shooting light, and got a coyote yipping over here, so we're gonna go ahead and climb down and go get to work on this doe. I think Warb's got the frame pack, so we're probably gonna quarter her up and take her out of here. Overall, it's a pretty good sit. Got her doe down, which was our goal, and saw quite a few deer down in this bottom. We're gonna climb down and get to work on this doe. Hopefully Jake and Greg had some luck also tonight.
Big old doe.
Yeah, that is a big doe. Look at that. Look at how hard that angle is on that doe, on that arrow. She only went about 15 yards.
Yeah, I mean, most of that arrow buried up in there.
Yeah, I mean, arrow's probably clear down here somewhere. Up into her lungs. We got some cutting to do now. When I decided to shoot the doe, she bounded off, and I had ranged a bunch of spots where she stopped at, and it was like 27 yards or so. And I got drawn and got on her, and I was like, "You got her there?" And Ward was like, "Yeah." So I started, getting the pin settled down in there, and about the time I started to squeeze the shot off, the shot broke like right when she started taking off like that, but luckily it got her, and we were at a steep enough angle, got down in there far enough and killed her within, probably 20 seconds. She was down.
Like it hit like right in front of her pelvis and then went straight down and in.
Yeah.
Like it probably, the front of the arrow is up
Yeah,
there
I
in her
guess
chest
it's somewhere
cavity.
up in here. I guess that's what you call a plan B arrow right there. That's about exactly what it looks like. I'm not real thrilled that that went down the way it did. When she stopped, I was already drawn and I was on her, and she was stopped, quartered away, looking back into this ditch away from us, and she was standing there for a good 5-6 seconds before I shot. So unfortunately she took off right then, but
Still worked out.
it still worked out. We got some meat on ice now.
Yeah, that's right.
Gotta cut her up, get her on the pack, and walk out of here. Good day in the woods.
Yep.
It's about 50 pounds of deer meat on my on my shoulder here. Orb's got one hindquarter on his frame pack. We had to keep one fully intact to keep the tag on it, but this is all meat that's been already deboned, so it's kind of loose and heavy. But how long did that take us? About 45 minutes, an hour?
Hour, probably takes an hour.
Yeah, not too bad though, especially if you got a couple guys with a couple knives and that tarp. One guy cuts the quarters off, the other guy starts deboning them. You can get it done pretty quick. So now most of the work's done. We just gotta go back and make it into deer burger.
Jake's got one we gotta make in a deer burger too.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
And
have
Nick's got one from Texas that we gotta make in a deer burger too.
3 does and all in the same day, I think.
Yeah.
I think he shot it this morning, Nick did. So we got plenty of meat to survive on until we can get some more does down, or hopefully a buck here later this week.
Head to the ranch.
Yep.
You getting worn out?
I can feel it in my legs. But I think I'll be alright till we get up to the top. Looks like we got some thick stuff coming out. That ought to be fun. Made it. Just like that.
Gonna be a dope party back in camp, sounds like.
I'm all about it.
I'm going hatless too because I was sweating too bad even with that hat on.
Wow.
Gonna run back in there. Decided to quarter this thing out. I don't really know what else to say other than that. We'll try to do it pretty quickly so we can get back to camp, meet up with those guys, and talk about our hunts, I guess.
Heck
huh?
yeah.
Kicked up pretty fast, yeah. She crashed right there somewhere. It seemed
Heck yeah.
I knew it was
Got a boy.
I knew it was gonna be one of those deals where it's like, oh yeah, she's right there. Big old doe.
Big old doe.
Nice job, Greg. We were talking on the way in. That's the first thing deer that we've ever shot together. I'm pretty sure.
Made history tonight.
First saddle deer. First time shooting one with Greg.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, big, pretty,
Yeah, she is a lot.
healthy looking doe.
yeah, a
like
lot
just
bigger than-
perfect.
I thought she was gonna be. It's a big doe.
Yeah, that is.
I think it's on the front side of her
Yeah.
scapula. Is what it feels like.
Yeah, that was my first thought when the arrow hit. The sound of it, like it contacted bone.
Yeah. Wasn't that big diaphragm pop?
But then the way she just bulldozed out of there, it's like
Yeah.
you knew she was in trouble immediately.
Yeah, it took
saw
out
that
this-
arrow, saw the knock disappear right there. I was like, yeah, perfect.
Took out the front side, and I can measure. I bet it were about 70 yards from the tree.
Yeah.
81 yards. So she did not go too far. We heard her tip over in here, and when she started taking off, like we've been talking about, it's like she didn't have a front end, so we knew we were in pretty good shape. We just flipped her over. Can't really show you too much of this on YouTube, but just because the other side's pretty messy, but we're gonna do like a little dissection, I guess, and put her on the deer school. But we just flipped her over, and I think this is her humerus sticking out, so it'll be interesting to see what we all got in there. But I'm impressed with that. I mean, it just sliced it right in half. We didn't find my arrow yet to see what kind of shape the head's in, but I might come back in here tomorrow even and look for it. But that's what you want to see. I mean, they're not going to go far when you hit them, when you take out both their legs. So
I think that was both of our reaction. Like the sound of the hit sounded like bone, but because of yours, which can be concerning, you know, sometimes, but because of your setup, sliced through a thick bone in the front leg.
yeah,
And
on the opposite
that's-
side.
On the opposite side, it passed completely through. Arrow passed completely through. We'll have to see what it hit on the entry side. Exit
Seems
side,
like
it
scapula
took out
to me.
scapula, and it took out the humerus bone. And when she started bulldozing, like we knew she was in
Yeah.
trouble. Like that is a devastating.
It's like
hit.
it's like shooting them with a gun.
Yeah.
Really, is what I compare it to. Is like
Yep.
I grew up shooting a 30-06 at deer, so it's like you can put it, especially hunting the small property that we did. It's like you'll shoot them in that bone just because we don't want to make them off. We don't want them to make it off our property. We don't want it to be bothering the neighbors. So it's like a super quick way to put them down is if you take out their undercarriage, I guess.
Yeah, that is impressive.
Yeah.
And devastating.
That'll give you some confidence in your setup early in the season. Yeah, you ever hear anything like if they got an inch or more back fat, it's gonna be a tough winter in Nebraska?
Oh, really?
Did any old timers ever say stuff like that?
I've never heard that one before.
I mean, who knows, you know? But it's kind of funny, and like maybe it's right, you know? The Farmer's Almanac of deer
yeah.
fat.
Yep. Well, I've heard multiple people saying that it's supposed to be a tough winter.
I feel like I hear that every year though. This is where we're going to be thankful we took the time to do this, because it's going to be a lot more effortless walking out of here with it like this than dragging that deer cart through all this grass and stuff.
For sure.
It just takes a little more time, but the meat's a lot cleaner. We were talking about get that hide off right away, especially in this warm weather, and now when we get home we can just relax, because we can leave it this sit overnight till the morning. We can take care of the rest of it tomorrow. But
Fun day.
go see what those guys are up to. You got it on ice then.
Oh yeah, we got meat on ice. Let's head her on that downhill incline there and open that drain plug up. Ted did. It was sweet. Straps, Hayden.
Straps and a little bit of Ted's elk from last year.
Nice. Will it eat?
It eats good, real good.
Appreciate you, Hayden.
Nick helped too. Tag team.
Just got back to the ranch. Hayden and Nick cooked up some backstrap and some elk meat. It's supposed to get warm tomorrow and then be pretty warm with southerly winds for the early part of the week, but then there's another cold front coming through again. And as this month goes on, I'm sure that we're gonna see bucks steadily increase their movement, and especially in the next 10 or 12 days, start really gravitating towards scrapes, which is where we have most of these cameras set up. So we're optimistic. We're gonna just keep chipping away at them until we get on some bucks here. Thankfully though, we capped a few does there early, and they're keeping us fed for the time being. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see y'all on the next one.